Attorney General Sessions shutting down any speculation about Russian collusion. Roll tape.
And the suggestion that I participated in any collusion, that I was aware of any collusion with the Russian government to hurt this country, which I have served with honor for 35 years, or to undermine the integrity of our democratic process, is an appalling and detestable lie.
Here with me now, Rich Lowry and Tammy Bruce. Tammy, I'll start with you. We're used to seeing Sessions calm, cool, collected, maybe a little detached even. Here he's on fire. What did you make of his performance?
Well, I thought that was particularly strong and it was necessary. Remember, he asked to do this, and we knew that there was something he wanted to counter because of James Comey's testimony. And it was that, the impression that James Comey gave, that Jeff Sessions shrugged his shoulders, and that he asked him right away after he met with Donald Trump that he told him he was uncomfortable. Apparently that didn't happen until a day later or even 2 days later. So there were things that were about the Attorney General's character that struck him. And he is, this is interesting, a lot of people may not know the length of his service, but everybody in the Senate knows him. He is well known and well liked and respected. It's almost, dare I say, cartoonish, the arguments now that are being made that this man, anyone has to sit there and make a defense like
you could see the long-lived relationships playing out in today's hearing, I thought. It was obvious these people knew each other well. Rich, to you, I've got a little breaking news here from Charles Schumer's office about this hearing today. He's reacting to the testimony, saying, unfortunately, the Attorney General repeatedly refused to answer pertinent questions from members of the Senate Intelligence Committee without offering a scintilla of legal justification for doing so. This is part of a repeated and troubling pattern from Trump administration officials who clam up and refuse to answer questions. How do you respond?
Well, I thought it was a very strong performance. I thought the righteous indignation was appropriate. The idea that Jeff Sessions would have been involved in undermining American democracy is a contemptible lie. But this is the one cut they opened up on him, is the executive privilege. And he was in an awkward position because he wasn't invoking it, but he was saying, I want to protect it in case the president wants to invoke it. But this is a well-established privilege. Administrations of both parties use it. It's important for having full and frank discussions internally of important issues.
And that's the payoff, right? That's what Sessions kept saying over and over again. Hey, look, we really can't do our jobs unless we can have a real conversation behind closed doors and not worry about it coming up later.
They sort of theatrically tried to make him seem guilty of something for invoking this privilege, which, again, in these sort of circumstances, probably any administration would.
There's some sound I want to get to, and I want your reaction to this, Tammy, in particular. Sessions said that he has faith in Mueller to conduct a Russian investigation. This is important because there are suggestions that he might get fired today. I'm going to play the sound and then you can react.
Great.
You would not take any actions to try to have Special Investigator Mueller removed?
I wouldn't think that would be appropriate for me to do.
Yes, sir, I agree.
And he went on to even say, not only would it not be appropriate, but I've known him for a long time and I have respect for him. Your reaction?
Yeah, there's a lot of news that's coming out when it comes to his relationship with Mr. Comey, almost a mentor-like relationship. They worked together for a long time. The people he's establishing inside the special office who are given maxed out to both Obama and Hillary. Some questions about conflict. Inside the FBI, of course, there's an ethics rule that if you've got a relationship with someone who may be a target or as a witness, that you should in fact recuse yourself. And maybe that's the answer, that Mueller can stay but recuses himself from any issues regarding Mr. Comey. But in that kind of dynamic, of course, Jeff Sessions can't fire him. Donald Trump can't fire him. It's the person who made the appointment, in this case, Mr. Rosenstein. So that becomes a different, when you see the headlines of Trump's going to fire him, the president can't fire that individual. But also in the previous dynamic here, you've got a series of questions here that you could tell they're moving away from the collusion, and they now want it to be about you can't, they're impeding this investigation. So that tells the viewer that even the Democrats realize that arguing about collusion doesn't make sense.
There's no there, I guess, is what you'd say.